bro. What if I told you that there are so many things Americans thought they made, but it's actually invented by Aussies instead? Cause today, I want to go over the 11 biggest things that were made by Aussies in the first place, but Americans took all the credit for. But there's no way you know every single one of them, so let's get into it. Well, because it's no secret that Americans believe only they exist on the whole planet. But so many everyday stuff that we couldn't live without may not be as American as you thought, cause the first invention is Google Maps. But so many would get baffled by how Google is a US company, but somehow Google Maps is from Australia. This is crazier than calling a chip a French fries, bro. But even though many people work on the original Google Maps, the company was founded in Sydney, Australia, and later Google bought them up. So technically you can call it an Aussie invention. Next up, you have Wi-Fi. Can y'all believe that the thing you undoubtedly use every day in your life in the US actually came to life thanks to Aussie? But here's the thing, Wi-Fi didn't just show up one day like boom, here's unlimited internet, go watch cat videos, bro. But it's more like an unexpected byproduct when a bunch of scientists in Australia developed a way to attempt to read the radio signals from black holes. I didn't know they got radios in black holes, man. They probably got chips in there as well. And later on, that piece of tech became a key part of Wi-Fi while making it fast and reliable. And you will always see a lot of those, oh, Australia never invented anything useful, kind of haters on the internet, saying how that is not the same as producing a functional Wi-Fi. Therefore, it doesn't count as an Aussie invention. I mean, y'all can decide. But the next invention is totally crazier. Because next up, you have the good coffee culture. A big emphasis on good. Because Americans would always believe that without the founding of Starbucks and McDonald's cafe, nobody would even be interested in coffee. And that is a complete lie, brother. Aussies were the one who took the ball and ran to the next level, as you would never hear anyone visiting any other nation for a cup of coffee. But people come to Australia, bro. I guarantee you most of them literally come for the Aussie cafe, and maybe for the massive animals, I don't know. But do yourself a favor, visit here and get ready to be blown away by what a real genuine cup of coffee tastes like, bro. But it won't be crazier than the next invention, the sub button. Wait, you didn't invent this? Then why does it change color when you click on it? And also Milo, bro. This thing is all over the place where I live in California, but people just assume it's another American brand, cause y'all know everything good has to be American, right? But this super duper iconic milk drink something, it was invented in Sydney almost 100 years ago during the Great Depression of the 1930s to ensure that kids would have something healthy enough to eat. Also, I kept on seeing it being pronounced Milo in my local community and so many other nations in Latin America. Bro, you guys invented it. Is this supposed to be Milo or Milo? But since we're talking about Aussie food and snacks, I want to get the next one out of the way. And that is Tim Tam, bro. You would not believe how popular it is in America right now. To the point y'all even have people on social media arguing, well, is it an American snack or is it Aussie? One side is saying that since Tim Tam's producer Arnold is apparently now owned by American investors, well, that means that it's invented by Americans. Do y'all know how crazy of a statement this is? So y'all telling me that if Americans one day buy the Sydney Opera House, the Wheel of Brisbane, and all the kangaroos, does it mean America invented all that? What kind of logic is that? Next up, the flight recorder, aka the black box. Basically, you'd never want to use that stuff, cause when it is used, that means something bad happened to the plane, man. So I don't know what it looks like, aside from it being a big, fat, orange object, which I assume it would look like Donald Trump. And thanks to this tiny little invention, I'm sorry, that joke about the president was kind of funny. And all the evolutions that follow. Commercial flights are now way safer than 60, 70 years ago. And for that, y'all gotta thank the Aussie. But I'm saying the invention from now on will only get more unbelievable. Cause next up, we have Notepad. And no, I'm not talking about the app in Windows computer. As the first ever paper notepad was invented by a lad in a city called Launceston in Tasmania. As he found out that selling one piece of paper at a time was such a waste of time. Why can't we sell them in bundles? And after putting them together, voila, now you've got yourself a notepad. And if I'm not mistaken, this was also where the oldest bookshop in Australia was located. But sadly, it was closed years ago before I could even visit. Plastic money, bro. You guessed it. Australia is to thank for it, since it was originally invented in Australia to make it difficult to use fake money, as well as making it more durable and sustainable than paper, lasting for so many times longer. But it didn't take long before Romania became the first nation in Europe to issue the same plastic money as many others like Malaysia, Singapore, and Thailand, etc. quickly follow suit. Well, American money is still a cheap thin piece of paper. And you know how easy it is to forget to take the change out of your pocket sometimes, and y'all just toss it all into the laundry machine? Well, the Aussie bill can survive that just fine. I hope that doesn't count as money laundering. Please tell me that it's not FBI knocking on my door. But before they come and take me away, we still have so many crazy Aussie inventions down the line that y'all wouldn't believe Aussies made them in the first place. Because up next, you have the electric power drill. If y'all love DIY and decorating your own house, well then, y'all have the Aussie lads in Melbourne from almost 140 years ago to thank for it. Originally, it was only meant for mining and drilling the rocks, but it wasn't until a few decades later that it finally became this portable, and you press the button and it drills kind of easy design. But as always, if you go to an American saying, hey, who invented this? Without a doubt, they would say that Americans made it, man. Boomerang, bro. Can y'all believe that so many Americans still don't even know that Aussies made the boomerang? As the Aboriginal Australians invented this, some say anywhere between 10,000 to 2,000 years ago, which is older than most inventions or even things that you see today. But out of all the ways that humans back in the days used to throw stuff at animals, gosh, they're kind of brutal. This unique aerodynamic design that allows it to return to the thrower was only made and perfected in Australia. Also, this may sound like a joke, but my Aussie pals always tell me to stay away from those authentic boomerangs being sold at crazy high prices in tourist places. They say those boomerangs will not return to you after being thrown, which is literally the point of that thing. But nothing will be crazier than the next Aussie invention. But without a doubt, this is also the most controversial one. And that is the latex gloves, aka gloves made with rubber, mostly for medical needs nowadays. Man, I used a ton of that when I was taking care of my aging grandma. But even though it was first invented by an American doctor, it wasn't until a company in Melbourne, Australia picked up the potential market and began to mass produce it. So y'all can say it's a combined effort of both the US and Australia. But there's no way I didn't miss anything, so you can put it down in the comments. But you believe Aussies made it, but nobody seems to know it outside of you. But can you believe that inventions are not the only thing the US took away from Australia? Because in this video, I'm going over the 7 Aussie words completely ruined by American English. But as always, y'all will have to click on the video to find out.